When I stepped into that ballroom, I wasn't meant to stand out. Jessica, my wife, had insisted I attend her company's annual gala. She'd brushed it off as another boring corporate thing. I didn't argue. I just slipped into a modest gray suit, one that blended in rather than commanded attention, and took a quiet seat near the back. From there, I watched as she glided through the room in a red dress that demanded every glance. She was breathtaking, poised, confident, radiant. But that wasn't what froze me. It was the man standing beside her, David Wells, her boss. His hand lingered too long on her waist as he whispered something in her ear that made her laugh just a little too freely. It wasn't the kind of laugh a married woman should share with another man. I stood there, glass in hand, appearing calm while something inside me began to boil. I'd heard that name, David, more than once these past few months. Late-night work calls, emergency texts, unexplained overtime. And once, she came home smelling faintly of his cologne. When I brought it up, she laughed it off. "You're being paranoid, Mark. He's my boss, not my boyfriend." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But watching him now, his fingers brushing her lower back while his smug grin said he knew I saw, the truth sank in hard, cold and heavy. When Jessica finally noticed me, her face faltered, a flash of surprise followed by clear annoyance. "You actually came," she said, forcing a smile. "Didn't think you'd want to be here." David chuckled beside her, that arrogant grin widening. "Oh, come on, Jess," he said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. "A guy's got to support his wife's boss, right? Especially when she spends more time with me than with him." Laughter rippled through the group. My jaw tightened around a polite smile. Let them laugh. He thought I was just the quiet, ordinary husband, the one without influence, without power. That suited me just fine. They drifted toward the dance floor, and I followed from a distance, pretending to mingle. His hand stayed on her waist. She didn't move it. The fire in my chest wasn't only jealousy, it was humiliation. Every nerve screamed to confront them, to shatter his arrogance right there. But I stayed still. Anger could wait. Patience served me better. What David didn't know was that 6 weeks earlier, I had quietly purchased his company through one of my holding firms. The merger paperwork had just been finalized. The average husband he mocked was now his new boss. Later that evening, the host took the stage, announcing an introduction of the company's new leadership after dinner. I saw Jessica and David exchange looks, hers uncertain, his amused. She leaned in to whisper something, and he smirked again. Probably about me. Let him. I waited, silent, listening to the shallow laughter and fake compliments swirling around me. To them, I was invisible. That was exactly how I wanted it. As the night reached its high point, the outgoing CEO, who had sold me his shares, stepped up to the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "tonight we not only celebrate another successful year, but also welcome a major change in leadership. Our new majority shareholder will now join us. Someone I'm confident will take this company to new heights." The spotlight turned. I rose from my seat. Heads turned. Conversation stopped. Jessica's face went ghost white. David's smirk dissolved completely. I walked to the stage, feeling their eyes on me. "Good evening," I said, taking the mic. "My name is Mark Dawson, and as of last month, I hold controlling interest in Wells and Partners." The silence that followed was almost tangible. David froze, mouth slightly open. Jessica looked like the ground had vanished beneath her heels. "I've heard this company has some strong personalities," I continued, letting my gaze settle directly on David. "But I have a deep appreciation for professionalism, especially from management." When the applause finally came, hesitant, uncertain, but real, I stepped down and crossed the floor. David stood, trying to gather what was left of his ego. "You never said," he began. I gave him a faint smile. "I don't discuss business at dinner parties," I said evenly. "Oh, and David, let's talk Monday. About boundaries in the workplace." The color drained from his face. The laughter that followed wasn't friendly this time. It was sharp, cutting, aimed right at him. Jessica reached out as I passed. "Mark, wait," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "I didn't know you were." I stopped her cold. "You didn't need to," I said quietly. "You just needed to respect me, and you couldn't even do that." She tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away and walked out of that ballroom, leaving her surrounded by whispers and stares. The next morning, I filed a formal HR complaint against David. Signed under my name. He was terminated by noon. Jessica called 27 times that day. I didn't answer once. That night, I sat in my quiet apartment, Divorce papers spread on the table. I signed them without hesitation. She'd traded love for validation, respect for attention, and in one night, she lost both. Weeks later, an email came from her. Long, emotional, full of apologies and memories of what we once had. I never replied. Some lessons don't need words. Sometimes silence, when paired with power, speaks the loudest of all. As I closed my laptop, I smiled, not out of revenge, but relief. She had finally seen the man she underestimated, and the man she'd lost forever.